Hey everyone, welcome back again to the She Talks Football podcast. We are coming to you live on Twitter and YouTube. So I know you have to be following the Undroppables. So you got to be following the Undroppables podcast. If you are following the Undroppables, then you should be clicking on a link on Twitter and watching us live, or also on YouTube and watching us live. So make sure and tweet that out and share it. We're on the Undroppables platform. This is Gina, host of She Talks Football. I'm going to go ahead and introduce my special guest that I have here because we literally got to jump right into this because y'all, the amount of football, great football that we have been seeing for the last 4 weeks now, it's like, it's been some good football out here, and it's like so many games to talk about. I try to only talk about like some of the games, so it won't be so long. But dude, this weekend, I'm just like, I'm gonna have to do it. We're just gonna have to spend like just a few minutes, but there's so many games to hit up. So let me go ahead and introduce my guest. On the bottom there, you see Bobby. Bobby is the host of the No Pro Football Show. It's on YouTube. So go subscribe to his channel, like and comment the No Pro Football Show. And you can also follow him on Twitter at NP Football Show. What's up, Bobby?
How you doing? How you doing?
And my other distinguished guest here. I mean, distinguished. Y'all see him. Y'all see him. This is Major Caldwell. I actually met Major on Clubhouse, you guys. This dude is like, he's so cool. He is way, way, way cool. Met him on Clubhouse. I was on Clubhouse looking for football rooms. Couldn't really find too many. So I was like, well, let me go into these fantasy rooms. And that's how I met Major and then a whole bunch of other people. And that dude, he's so cool. He will pump you up. He will encourage you. He wants you to do your best. He wants you to be your best. So Major is currently on the podcast with one of the co-hosts on the Dynasty Vipers podcast, which also comes to you live Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And because he's in such high demand, he's on the Fantasy Points Extra Point every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Major.
Man, I don't even know what to say after that. I need you to come to my funeral and do my eulogy. I need that in my life.
Oh, yeah, no, we ain't doing funerals, dude. There's a lot more life.
When that time happens, though, you get in the call for that because that was amazing. You already know how I feel about you. It is what it is. Let's get to
it. And it's mutual, of course. So obviously we're going to talk about this Ravens-Broncos game first, but we're definitely going to be, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. We're going to be talking about the Jaguars-Bengals, the Giants-Saints, that Bears-Lions game, the Cardinal-Rams. Major is a Rams fan. The Seahawks 49ers. He's a 49ers fan too.
Man, I had a bad week.
The Steelers, Packers, Jets, Titans, Patriots, Buccaneers, Raiders, Chargers. I'm just saying it was so many good games. So
we have a question. I already know you about to go. Go ahead.
How are you a Rams and 49ers fan?
Well, we're gonna let him explain that.
Okay.
We're going to let him explain that when we get to it. I knew that was going to be a question.
I seen his hand go up. I was like, here we go already. He about to come at me already.
He has an explanation for that one. So, yeah. So, all right. So, let's jump off, you guys, with this Ravens-Broncos game. So much to say, but I'm not going to start first. Bobby, you go ahead and start in, get your stuff out. Major, you throw in, and I'll come up and say what I want to say. So let's go ahead and start with you, Bobby.
Well, the biggest takeaway from this game for me was the Broncos had a good defensive scheme,
right?
Or what they thought was a good defensive scheme by trying to shut down the run, which, the Ravens are known for. They're the best running team in the league, basically. So you definitely want to try to shut down that run. But what they underestimated was the fact that, contrary to popular opinion, that Lamar Jackson can throw the ball.
Say what?
And that's exactly what he did.
Wait a minute, can you say that again?
To the tune. I said Lamar Jackson can throw the ball.
What?
One more time. Lamar Jackson can throw the ball.
Ha!
To the 316 yards.
What he did.
and what people are not looking at is that he's also leading the league in long passes this year so far. So I mean, it's not a fluke. It's not the guy can throw the ball, and they didn't plan for that. So this is what happens when you underestimate Lamar Jackson or any player for that matter.
All righty. Go ahead. Just go ahead, Major. Hello?
I think he
Major. I think you might be having technical troubles.
Yes. But anyway, that game was a game that showed that I think it woke the league. It may, you're still going to have doubters. They're going to say it was a fluke. They're going to say this or that or the other. But it may.
I think my screen is frozen, but if you can hear me, I'll put my take.
Okay, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Lamar is the man. I don't know why people discredit him. I mean, yeah, he's not.
Okay, it looks like you're going in and out again.
The most.
Okay, Major, I don't know if you can hear me. It looks like you're going in and out again. So let's give it a second for your Wi-Fi to come back in. And I'll go ahead and jump in and share some of my thoughts, and then we'll see. We'll let them come back in. Y'all know stuff happens. So yeah, Bobby, you actually hit on one of the things that I definitely just, for all the people that have just been in the football world talking about Lamar can't throw, you got to be able to throw. He can't throw outside the numbers. He can only throw to Marquise Brown. All of this. It's like we have been trying to tell you guys ever since we've had this wonderful addition to our team about Lamar and his arm. I mean, many people followed him in Louisville. They knew what he could do. You can go back and look at clips from this dude all the way back to elementary school. I've seen them. And this dude has an arm. And not only can he throw the ball, he throws the ball effortlessly. Did you guys see that pass to Marquise Brown? That ball actually traveled over 60 yards to Marquise easily. It was no strain. Like, that's one of the reasons I'm seeing now that why he's been overthrowing the ball, because the dude has power in his arm. So we went in there, and as you said, Bobby, they thought that we were going to be coming in just trying to run. So, and they do have, as you said, a good run defense, but we didn't.
I think they have a good defense in general, but their game plan was to stop the run, and thinking one-dimensional. They thinking that he was one-dimensional.
Right.
That was the whole.
Right.
Lamar's going to run, and they're going to run the running backs, and we're going to shut all that down, and we're going to force him to throw the ball. And that's what you do. That's what you. Listen, I'm not throwing shade to the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, I think, are a very good defense.
Right.
One of the best in the league this year. I mean, just team overall, they're one of the best teams in the league this year. But I really believe that they underestimated Lamar Jackson. Like, it really looked like that's what was going on, that they underestimated him. Not only did he throw the ball, he spread it out. Dude,
you still in my second point. I was about to say that.
Well, go ahead. I'll let you
go ahead.
Marquise Brown, 4. Prochet, 5. Andrews, 5. Watkins, 4. Duvernay, 3. And then Patrick Ricard had 1. Like, that's 6 different receivers that he hit. So I mean, if Patrick Mahomes does this, and they'll be like, oh well, Patrick Mahomes had another one of his games. He spread the ball around. You don't know who to defend, so forth and so on, and deservedly so. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but Lamar Jackson does it, and you know what you hear about? Wow, they actually went for that record at the end of the
Right.
game. Like you don't even
Exactly.
hear anything about 316 yards, 6
Right.
different receivers or anything like that. So I mean, it is what it is. But I'm fine with that. I'll take that.
Yep. So you basically almost took all of my points. That passing game, 300 something yards. He spread it out amongst five of our wide receivers. So
6.
glad to see six. Yeah. So glad to see Prochet and Duvernay being targeted. Duvernay not just doing return balls, but actually being targeted in the game. Prochet, I am such a big fan of Prochet. I've been a fan of Prochet since last year, then especially in this preseason game. That attitude that dude has the way he contends and fights for the ball, fights for the yards. Like I'm a big fan. I am a big fan of Yak. Nothing gives me more other than a touchdown. Nothing gets me more excited than Yak. And the way that dude just leaned his shoulder in and pushed in order to get that first down. Yeah, I want to see a lot more of that. So, yeah, it was really a great game overall. Our O line, out because I was a little shaky, Saints members and friends. I was a little shaky about our O line. I mean, it did get shaky after Villanueva went out with was it ankle? I think it was his ankle or his
Yeah, I
knee.
think it was an ankle.
And then Smith came in, and I immediately got worried because I'm like, the dude has not been practicing as far as I know. He had not played at all, and coach actually confirmed that he had not been playing. So you can see things start tumbling a little bit when he first came in, but I did see improvement. Did you, Bobby?
Yeah, I did. As the game went on, he did get better, but he hadn't played in a really long time. So I mean, that's to be expected. You get thrown into the fire like that. He probably wasn't even expecting to play. I mean, obviously, all backups need to be ready to go. That's just a part of being a backup. But I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting to play, and then he just got thrown into the fire against a good defense,
Right.
against a defense that has a pass rush. So. He was a little off at first, but I think he did. I think he did okay after kind of getting his bearings. And if he has to play next week, he'll probably be even better because he'll be able to practice with the ones and so forth and so on.
Right.
The one thing I do want to say about that game, though, that I was a little bit surprised about is that coach's decision to. I knew they were going to bring Bell up eventually, but I was surprised that they took Ty out of the
Right.
lineup as opposed to say maybe
Right.
Freeman or something like that, because I felt like we really could have used him in that game. And it's no shade to Freeman, but Freeman is new to the team.
Mhm.
Ty knows the plays, he knows the scheme. Freeman doesn't yet, so I was surprised that was the one that he pulled out.
So yeah, and it was weird for me too, to not see him, to not see him, to not see him in there. But I think ultimately it worked out. And what I mean by that is, again, it was another opportunity for us to perfect the passing game. And I think they also needed to see what we've seen what Latavius Murray can do some. And we needed to see what Le'Veon can do now. Granted, that was a tough defense for him to go against his first time out. So we didn't get to see fully. But I think they already, like some people said, oh, I think they took him out because he's on punishment because of those fumbles. We know coach does not like fumbles, and
Right.
you will be in the doghouse. If you fumble the ball, you will be in the doghouse. Like this has happened so many times. But I don't think that was it. I really honestly think they just needed to see what Latavius and not so much Latavius, but Le'Veon can do. But I think he's going to need another game to try to, get in there and then
Definitely.
kind of figure out which way they want to go as far as RB1. I still believe that Tyson Williams is going to be our RB1.
I mean, granted, he did make a few mistakes this year, I know, but he I don't know if he should be the one, but he should definitely be in the game. I'm saying, like, he should definitely be at this point. One might be Latavius Murray.
You think? I mean, we always do running back by committee anyway. We're always running the two.
Yeah, definitely
But
that. But
you
I mean,
don't
if
think
you had
you
to
don't think
name a
that
one, it might be, even though he's new also, but his style of run is it kind of reminds you of like it's amazing to me that they picked up Freeman for the speed aspect of our running back core, and I know that's why they have him, because he has this ability to, he'll drop that back foot and head north so fast, like the defense doesn't even get a chance to. I mean, when he was at his best, the defense doesn't even get a chance to clog the hole up, because he hits that hole so fast,
right?
Through it, which is why he was so successful with Atlanta. But so I know why they got him. I know why they got Latavius Murray, because of his hard running, like our running backs do. Like they picked up those two to emulate what we lost through injury.
Well, see, I think Tyson is Gus. You don't think Tyson is a Gus type runner?
No. He was already a part of the team. I'm talking about the ones that we actually picked up.
That we added. Okay.
Right. And Latavius Murray is like Gus also. But the Bell thing, like I think the Bell thing was more of a. I think there's something bigger to the Le'Veon Bell pickup than just we lost our running backs. I'm not sure yet. I think it's a larger scope to that than what we know about.
I do believe they have a master plan. Like, to me, they have been showing that they have been playing chess and not checkers through these first 4 games. Like, I still firmly believe that, like, with the Lions game, it was purposeful game plan that we're going to go in passing the ball and not utilizing the running game as much. I feel like it was purposeful because they needed to practice that, because we need to have that tight as we head further into the season. And because of the injuries and COVID and all other kind of reasons, as you know, our entire offense had not been on the field together in camp or in preseason. Right. So they still needed that time. And so were some things we still needed to gel together that we had not had an opportunity to do yet. So I just honestly feel like that's what that Lions game was for. And we won it by the passing game, not by running. We won it.
Exactly.
And the same thing, coming in, they said they watched the tape. They watched that the linebackers were up close all the time to the line and that they were doing all the cover zero. So they took advantage of that. Again, it gave us another opportunity to get that passing game down. I mean, people keep letting Marquise Brown, get behind him. And I don't know if on that one play.
Well, I wouldn't say let. I don't think it's a let.
He's just fast like that. That's just what he's going to do.
Yep.
Because he split 2 defenders. He ran right in between
through the safeties.
Of them.
Yep.
And ran straight onto the end zone and put the ball.
When you see people like that on film, well, everybody knows how Tyreek Hill is now. Like they know that speed is some real speed that he has. I don't think they're quite there with Marquise yet.
Okay.
Like I think they're like, okay, he's fast, but he's not Tyreek fast, or like that. And then when they get in the game, they used to say the same thing about Lamar Jackson. Like, he's a lot faster in person than he looks on film.
Right.
So I think that's one of them. That's one of them things that they just weren't expecting him to be as fast as he. And it seems like he's actually getting faster by the game this year. It seems like every year, every game. I'm sorry, there's a progression. I mean, the 3 drops was definitely not a progression last game, but every game there's a progression in something: his route running, his speed, or his ball catching skills. Is like the way he laid out for that long touchdown.
Yes.
That's the thing that I feel like a lot of receivers don't do nowadays. They don't want to lay out. They'll just let the ball go and like, it wasn't on the spot. But yeah, I love that. I love that.
That dude laid out. He was parallel to the ground. Like he laid out so good. He could have taken a nap. That was a take a nap layout. Literally, what he did. So yeah, that was super exciting. Just a couple of more things, and we can move on because, like I said, there's so many other games to talk about. I do have to bring this up, even though it's painful. But look, I am a football girl. I love football, and I love to see good football, even if it's not necessarily on my team that I love. Can we just say Javonte Williams? Uh, when I think I got his name right, when he literally Marlon took a piggyback ride of 20 yards on him. That
yeah,
was a straight piggyback ride for 20 yards.
Yeah, the dude is probably he's pretty strong, obviously.
So,
but Marlon wasn't the only one grabbing him either.
Right? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Like embarrassing, if you're a Ravens fan, but pretty impressive. But I mean,
play.
But the other thing is, like, Marlon is not like a heavy, big dude or anything. But yeah, that's still embarrassing.
Yeah, Marlon
I'm
is
sure he wasn't
lanky.
embarrassed, but
he's fast and he's lanky.
Right. And he's smart.
So yeah. So, but that was just a great play. Like you can't hate. You have to appreciate a good football play.
It all. Right.
And although at the time when it was going on, I was looking at it horrified at the time, but right afterwards, it was like he beasted on that play. That's plain and simple. He beasted on that play, so I got to give him credit for that. And the good thing is, Marlon even posted about it on Twitter. He was like, did I get dragged 20 yards? So I thought that was funny that, he said that. I thought it was funny he said that.
I also feel like that game would have been, and I have to say this because it's honesty, it's truth. That game would have been different if Teddy Bridgewater was in there. It would have been a lot tougher game for us if Teddy Bridgewater was in there. Because although Locke knows the scheme that they run and the plays that they run, he didn't look like he was really on point.
And I'm sure
just coming into the game cold,
right.
Stuff like that. So yeah, I think it would have been a shouts out to Teddy, and I hope he gets better. But
yeah, for sure.
And even Lamar, he said that Teddy was the reason that he went to the college he went to.
Right. Yeah.
Because of Teddy, he calls Teddy Big Brother. So
yeah,
we definitely want him to get better because I think that team. Man, that's going to be a tough division. If the Broncos continue to play the way they play, and they have a tough road. What they play? Steelers next week, I think it is.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's the Steelers. Yeah,
it is the Steelers.
Yeah, I want to see how that's going to go because you're talking two good defenses, and I don't know if you just never know with the Steelers offense if they're going to.
Well, we're going to talk about that because we're going to get to that Steelers game because I'm like Steelers. But we're going to get to that. But you actually brought up a good segue. Well, it's a segue. Like I said, we definitely want Teddy to get well and everything. Hopefully he's good. There were some people questioned some of the hits that the Ravens made. I honestly didn't see any illegal hits. There was some hits, but I don't recall seeing any illegal hits. Even the one that took out Teddy seemed to be a clean shot by Owe, as far as I can recall. I believe that was Owe. Owe. Yeah, that's how I announce him. Owe. So it seemed to be a clean one to me, but I'm sorry that he got knocked out of the game. But how there were some actual unpenalized hits against Lamar, at least two of them. And then at one, he was literally hit in the back and knocked on his butt.
Yeah, that was pretty blatant.
And I was like, and the referee was literally standing right there. He saw it. And this is the thing. Lamar is not a bellyacher. He doesn't complain. He kind of reminds me of Andrew Luck in that, when somebody tackles him, he'll get up and be like, he'll tap the guy on their helmet, say good. That used to tickle me what Andrew Luck used to do. They'd be like, good hit. Tackle. That used to tickle me so much. I miss him. It's too bad things worked out like that for him, but better to take care of your body and live. But that used to tickle me about Andrew. And Lamar is kind of like that. Like he doesn't get pissed, but Lamar was pissed after those hits Sunday. And it's like, come on, he doesn't even complain. It was so blatant. I don't know why they didn't call it.
Well, that one from behind can be dangerous.
Right.
That could have been serious. And the ball had been gone. So I don't know what the referee was looking at. Like I guarantee you if that was certain other quarterbacks, maybe
You
a
know,
Brady or a Rodgers or any of those guys, that would have been a
Breeze,
flag.
Manning, right? And that's my whole point about that. And I actually saw they said Lamar had not gotten a roughing the passer call since December of 2019.
Right.
So he's played all of 2020 and now into this year and has not gotten a roughing the passer call. Like, why? You trying to tell me he has not been roughed up in all these games that he's played for these last 2 seasons?
Well,
So far?
they obviously you could tell, like it's obvious that they treat running quarterbacks differently than they treat statuesque in the pocket
Right.
quarterbacks, and I don't think that's right. Like they sometimes feel like I feel like they treat them based on their ability as opposed to based on their position. If the running back is out of the pocket running, I'm sorry, if the quarterback is out of the pocket running, then it's their job to protect themselves. But when they're in the pocket,
Which he was.
those rules are set up to protect them
Right.
when they're in the pocket. That touchdown that Lamar threw, he was in the pocket.
Right.
And was walking away. Like he literally had already thrown the ball and was walking towards the sideline, and then all of a sudden from behind, wow, like knocked him completely off his feet, probably 3 or 4 yards forward. And Lamar throws his arm up to the ref, like, you're not going to call that? Like, why? I don't understand why he didn't. I don't see any reason why that wasn't called.
Right.
Like nothing. Running quarterback or not, he wasn't running. He didn't even have the ball.
Right.
So what was the excuse? And the sad part about it is all you'll get from it is a apology from the league.
And we should have called that.
Right.
Right.
What if that took him out of the game though?
Right.
Like that's not enough. Like they gotta stop with this preferential treatment.
And that's with any of the QBs. And that's what Coach said. All QBs should get the same treatment. It shouldn't be, we remember all those times with Cam Newton and they wouldn't call it. I remember it with Ben Roethlisberger.
Absolutely.
And they wouldn't call it.
Ben does not get those calls. I guess because he's not a running quarterback, but I guess because he's big,
right?
They just like, oh, that was nothing. No, that's not. Call it. If it's a penalty, call it.
I felt like it's especially been a thing in general against AFC North QBs. I feel like AFC North QBs didn't really get calls. Like we know the Rodgers and the Mannings and the Brady.
Well, I feel like AFC North teams, period, don't get. We don't get a lot of calls.
Holding calls, right?
Holding.
It'll get called on us.
Roughing the passer,
right?
Pass interference,
right? Blocking the back.
All of those things. It seems like we get a little, and I could be biased because my team is in the AFC North, but it seems like we get a little slighted with all those type of things, especially roughing the passer and pass interference.
Well, just like that play with Le'Veon. When they it was a face mask and they actually twisted his head around.
Right, and no call.
They didn't call the face mask, they called a holding call
on the offense.
But never called the face mask on them. Like at the very least, they should have canceled each other out. But you just want to call just a holding call on us. It was like, wait, what? Did you not see his head twisted around like what was that movie? Poltergeist or something, or whatever movie that was. It's like, did you not see that?
And again, that's a dangerous play.
Right.
That's a play that could put somebody out of the game. That's a play that could end somebody's career or worse. So and it's funny because that whole day I had been seeing face mask calls that I thought were debatable, like his hand just smacked the mask.
Right.
They call a face mask.
Right.
But on this, you're getting a man's head turned almost all the way around and no call. Like, I just don't understand it.
That's crazy. So welcome back, Major. It's all good, bro.
You don't understand what I just did. I just did backflips and everything just to get this thing to work. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. We know stuff happens. So we're about to head into the other games. We finished with the Ravens, but I do want to get your input on this. We were talking about the unpenalized hits against Lamar. I don't know if you saw the game, but it was like two blatant late QB hits that were never called, and the refs were just standing right there and correlated that to we know it happened to Cam Newton all the time. They wouldn't call it. We specifically remember with Ben Roethlisberger, they didn't call them. Pretty much the AFC North, we get treated like stepchildren. But yet, if you actually look hard at Breeze, at Brady, at Manning, at any Rodgers, they throw flags and help the man off the field. So, like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's been going on. And like you said, Cam to me is the biggest example of that. And you see how he is now, kind of a shell of himself a little bit, just because he took all those hits. So I really don't want that for Lamar. I think it's up to the coaches to kind of fight for their players a little bit more. But yeah, I hate seeing that, and Lamar is a victim of that. And they always say, "Oh, because he's a running quarterback," so they it's okay because they don't know if they're going to run or not. But that to me is a layman's excuse. Like, they need to do a better job of protecting those quarterbacks, especially the running quarterbacks. I can go deeper, but I don't think I want to go too much deeper on your show right now.
Right, I feel you.
I was about to go somewhere else, but yeah, I think I just don't want what happened to Cam and to happen to RG3 to happen to Lamar. So I think the coaches need to do a better job of like pointing that out or making a big stink out of it or something,
I mean, especially if you're in the pocket. I mean, I do understand when you're running. You've now made yourself a running back. You're a running target. But, the ones we're talking about, dude was straight in the pocket. He threw the ball from the pocket, late hit,
but
in his back.
Because of the threat that he could run, they say it's okay for him to be in the pocket. And it's disgusting. I don't like it, but,
so we're going to have to follow up on that later. Keep kind of tracking that and looking at that, because we may need to bring that up later again here.
But they can't even use the running quarterback excuse for this last and probably the worst hit he's taken, because the ball was gone. Where was he? There was no run to be made, and the ref was standing right there.
Have you heard any excuse? Have you heard did they say anything? Yeah,
I know that coach was putting in a complaint about it, but I haven't heard anything about a response.
They submitted it, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of that.
All it's going to be, we apologize. That was a call that should have been made, and then it's over with. So
we've seen this all. We've seen it before.
Yes,
we've seen it already with Cam. We've seen what RG3 career ended because of some like crazy stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
I mean, that was the Ravens that did that to RG3, but it wasn't on purpose. But that was Loli Nata number 2.
Yeah, they usually blow the whistle when the quarterback is even out the pocket. They blow the whistle a little bit earlier, but with like RG3, Cam, the whistle is played like your receiver, running back, etc. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's another element to it, but we'll keep it PG.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of Lodi, he's actually being inducted into the Ravens Ring of Fire next week. Monday Night Football, Ravens against the Colts. So we like that. We like stuff like that. Okay, so let's head to these other games, y'all. We're going to see what we're looking at. Okay, we got a little time. Let's get into some of these other games. Because you're here, let's go ahead and hit up the ones with the Rams and the 49ers. So let's hit this Cardinals-Rams game. Like, first of all, the Cardinals is the only team who's still undefeated in the NFL, y'all. It's the Cardinals. Did anybody see that coming?
I'm not surprised about it. They weren't like my creeper team because they had
they wasn't. It was my sleeper team, bro.
They were your sleeper team, but that's too much talent to be a sleeper team to me. Like, that's
true.
That's too stacked on both sides of the ball to be a sleeper necessarily. They're just doing what they should do. But I still remember last year them getting off to a hot start. And then after the 5th or 6th game, it just went downhill from there. So that still remains to be seen. But I'm happy for what they're doing. And Kyler Murray looks really good out there. Like, that guy is shining right now. He's probably in my opinion, right now, I'm saying not career-wise, right now, he's probably the second or third best quarterback in the league right now.
I thought you were gonna get bold. You said second or third. I thought you were gonna say number one, Bobby. Come on, man.
Oh
But I
no,
do agree with you.
Dak Prescott has to be number one right now
Oh,
on everybody's list.
I almost left the show again right now. I think my computer froze the first time because all that Ravens talking about, so my computer froze. But yeah, I agree with I agree with Bobby. Like Kyler is that's the reason this team it looks like the way it looks. The guy is the MVP right now. That defense looks better. It seems like they just need another year to mature, and that year is now, and they're good. So last year was their year to mature. This year is the one when they're like actually taking that step forward. I was really shocked with that Rams game. I think they just caught the Rams on a bad day because I don't think the Rams are that bad the way it looked, because it was a beatdown. It wasn't close. So I think they caught a really good team on a bad day, and they took advantage of it. So let's not go too far because the Rams will still be in that fight at the end. And yeah.
So you think the Rams are a really good team? What's your definition of a really good team?
But name a weakness that team has.
Everything.
No, man. Quarterback is balling. Before last week, he was
I love Matt. I love Matt. I love Matt. Yes.
Running backs, yeah, we have some injuries and stuff, but okay. Receivers, come on, man. Bar none. We got receivers. That defense is top of the top line. It was a bad day.
No.
We got the best player in the NFL.
The Rams defense has two top-notch, probably future Hall of Fame players.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the end. The end.
The disrespect. We'll see at the end of the season. We
will. We definitely
will.
That
the Rams were undefeated until last week, right? You know that, right?
Okay.
People are talking about the Rams like they're like 0-4 right now. They lost one game.
Who did they play?
They played teams in the NFL. The NFL.
The Denver Broncos were also undefeated until this past week, right? You know that.
I know
they played the Jaguars, the Giants, and the Jets.
The Rams did not do that, though. The Rams actually had stiffer competition in that. But
who? The Bucs? Another phony team?
Where'd you get Bobby from? Let's return Bobby. He crazy. Nah, I'm with you, man. Bobby, I'm trying to debate you, but you making great points. But I'm just saying, like, it's one game. Let's not throw, the boat out, you know what I'm saying, before the bathwater. Is that what you say?
Throw out the baby with the bathwater.
There you go. And then that one, and then
I don't even get, but okay.
I never got that either, but I like saying that type stuff. But no, they're going to be in contention. Like it was just a bad game, and the Cardinals on fire. Like once you have that momentum, it's kind of hard to stop a team that has momentum. And you guys know that, or Regina, you know that being a Ravens, you had that run when y'all caught fire in the playoffs. What year was that? With what year was that?
What, 2019?
Yeah, I think it was in 19 season when they just caught fire in the playoffs, and there was nothing no one can do. So like, and I think Arizona's at that point right now, but they might, like you said before, Arizona had this hot start before and they fell off. But I think that with the new way the quarterback is playing and the way the coaches are calling the plays and stuff, it seems like a different Cardinals team. So I don't think they're going to fall off, but I don't think the Rams are as bad as they looked the other day.
Well, listen, the Rams allegedly had the number one defense last year, but they had a pretty scaled down schedule last year also too. If you're playing a bunch of weak teams, not saying that they didn't play any good teams, I'm not saying that. But if you're playing a bunch of weak teams, your defense is going to look much better than what they really are. Secondly, they're supposed to be so vaunted for their defense this year, but I really like you guys just gave up over 200 rushing yards to the Cardinals.
Who?
The Cardinals.
Yeah, because you have that quarterback that no one can solve. Like this dude is like.
But it was Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds had 120 yards by itself.
That I don't like that part. But it's because they were so worried about the quarterback. The running back got to do it. It was just good. It was good coaching. They got outcoached.
It's kind of the same threat we posed. The Ravens posed to other people.
Exactly. And Murray is like if Lamar, he has Lamar legs and Mahomes' arm. Like that's dangerous. If he was like 6'2", 6'3", he'll be the greatest quarterback to ever walk the earth. But he's 5'9", doing it you know what I mean? So he's not that guy right now. But like you can't stop him. He's gonna throw the ball, put it in the tight pockets. He's gonna run all over the field. He's gonna open up the field for players like Chase, who's not even that good of a running back, but he looks like that because Murray opens up the offense for him. So I agree with everything you're saying. You're not saying anything wrong, but
Y'all saying the same thing, Major?
Yeah. Regina got me with that one. Yeah, but we're saying the same exact thing.
So okay, so yeah, I just want to say I did call the Cardinals all in the whole offseason, like back to May. I was like, the Cardinals is a team that nobody is checking for, and they're going to go deep in the playoffs, and nobody's checking for them. So we'll, but like you said, we'll see if the streak continues. And
Regina,
you saying don't give up on the Rams yet? What'd you say, Bobby?
No, quick question for you, Regina. Do you what made you say that early? Because I do remember you being early on that. What did you see that made you? Yeah,
y'all spent this whole time talking about Kyler Murray. That's the key. And people were trying, not that he didn't make mistakes and not that he didn't have bad games, but you have to recognize that talent and that will to win. Like Kyler Murray is a great QB. Like, is he a great QB or is he not a great QB? He's a great QB. They bumped up their defense this offseason. It was the offseason acquisitions that they got. Now, people, and when I would bring out my points on Clubhouse, I remember people saying, yeah, I agree with all that, Regina, but I'm not convinced about Cliff Kingsbury. So was anybody convinced about Cliff Kingsbury yet?
I just said he's doing a great job coaching. He's taking advantage of the talent he has, and he did a really good job at pointing out the Rams' weaknesses. He took advantage of all those weaknesses. He found them and he took advantage of them. That's great coaching.
Yeah, when I saw the presser, you could tell he was so full of himself. He was so happy. I was like kind of tickled looking at him because he was, and I understand that. He was super happy about that. Okay, so the Seahawks 49ers, you like touched on that a little bit, Major. I'm so mad because I went against my boys. If you don't know, I do have kind of a second favorite team now. Please understand. You see all this purple behind me? I rocks for the Ravens all day, 100%. But I am partial to the Seahawks in the NFC.
Well,
so
we need to take a moment, guys, and let that sink in, because I've never heard Regina say anything about liking any other team unless one of her Ravens was on that team. She's probably going to say she likes Seattle because they got some Ravens, right?
Well, Seattle used to be. They are not currently. Okay. But Seattle used to be back when they had the Legion of, is it Doom, Boom? Because I always get the word mixed up.
Boom, yeah.
Yeah, the Legion of Boom and all. I felt like they were like the NFC Ravens. Like I felt like our teams kind of paralleled each other back then. This was back when they won a roll. And Russell Wilson, like how can you not be a fan of Russell Wilson? I've definitely been a fan of Russell Wilson. I love the Legion of Boom. And I was a Pete Carroll fan until I found out some things recently, but I was a Pete Carroll fan. So I definitely have been partial to the Seahawks, and I would just ride for them and I would always pick them in the picks. But the way they have been playing these last few games, I gave up and I turned on them and I didn't pick them to win. And what? They won the game. Like they beat the 49ers. So what's up with the 49ers? Because it was like the 49ers came in with so much promise. And I'm not saying their season is tanked or anything like that, but they are looking a little shaky too. And so go ahead and explain to Bobby how you're both a Rams and a 49ers fan. That'll be a good time to get that out.
Got you. So like growing up in LA, I'm a 80s baby. So we didn't have a football team. Like the Raiders left like when I was a baby. The Rams left when I was a baby. So we didn't have a team for a long time. And my dad is a Raiders fan. My brother's a Cowboys fan. So we like to have like a little family rivalry thing going. So I gravitated towards the Niners. And being a kid, you kind of a bandwagon. That's the time to be a bandwagon fan, is when you were a kid. You get a pass for that. So the Niners was winning during that time. Joe Montana era. Those teams. That was my team. Jerry Rice is my guy. Ricky Waters and Roger Craig and all these type guys. So I fell in love with the Niners. now that we have two teams, I like all things LA. So I'm always go for the California teams, always go for the LA teams. Is that hockey, soccer, whatever? I'm going LA number one. So now I have to go with the Rams and the Chargers. So, and plus I'm a players guy, doing fantasy football and stuff like that. It's really hard to have a team and be a really good fantasy player because it's hard for me to separate my bias. I know Regina's really good at it. But that's what it is. And then with the
You ain't gotta
Niners,
pump me up. I don't care if I'm see people. I don't care
no,
about
but
my
your
bias.
teams, because I thought when we had some drafts together, I was like, oh, Regina's going to get every Raven. We already know. I knew she was good. She was fighting for Lamar, but everyone else, she did a good job like spreading it out. I thought she was going to be Ravens heavy, but she didn't. With me, I would be all 49ers heavy. So I try to be player friendly. I like all players. I like all teams except for the Patriots and the Cowboys. Those are two teams I can't stand. But other than that, I like all the other teams. But yeah, that's what it is.
So
Well, let me
Bobby, tell
explain my
Major who your
situation.
teams are.
Why I like two teams. I
Yeah.
also love two teams. It's the Cowboys and the Ravens.
Okay.
First of all, you said that in the wrong order. Can you change that, please?
I said the Cowboys and the Ravens. I didn't say then.
No, I said you said them in the wrong order.
Yeah, you can say the
But-
Ravens and
so-
the Cowboys.
So here's the thing. Growing up in Baltimore, we had the Colts. Nobody in my generation liked the Colts for whatever reason. I don't even remember why now. But nobody in my generation liked the Colts, so they all chose other teams. So in my generation here in Baltimore, we have a lot of outside of Baltimore, like we have Steelers fans, we have Cowboys fans, we have Raider fans in my generation. But once the Ravens came, I was all for it. I was all for it. So now I'm an actual Ravens and Cowboys fan, and it seems like both of those teams almost seem like the most hated teams in the league. It seems like to me, but I'm good with that.
Like the
I actually love that.
I get the Baltimore, but why do you like the Cowboys?
So when I was a kid, that was the team I kind of gravitated to. I don't even remember
you fell
exactly.
for the marketing.
Well,
You fell for Jerry Jones marketing. Jerry Jones
No,
got you with the
no,
America's team. He got you.
I didn't even know Jerry Jones back then. It was what's his name? The wide receiver and the running back, Tony Dorsett.
Yeah.
That was the main reason why I was a Cowboys fan. So and I want to say, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, my grandfather was a Cowboys fan also. So that might have been part of the reason too. But I love Tony Dorsett. Like Tony Dorsett back then was the reason I wanted to play football, and then later on it was Walter Payton. So, those are my guys. I just never became an actual Bear fan. But yeah, Cowboys and Ravens. So I get the two-team thing, but yours are two.
I kind of got like three teams, really.
But yours are you like two teams that are in the same. So here's why mine is different. My two teams that I love are not even in the same conference.
Got you.
Yours are in the same division.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a conflict.
But I'm gonna go. But it goes Niners, Rams, and then the Chargers. That's how it ranks out. But back to the game though. But the Niners, I think they lost that game pretty much because Jimmy G got hurt. Although the rookie came in there, Trey Lance came in, looked pretty good, threw a long touchdown. Like I think maybe the first drive he was in. I just think it threw the team off a little bit. And again, I think Russell caught fire. When he catch fire, it's like pretty much nothing you can do at that point. But yeah, I just think that the 49ers got off track a little bit because the quarterback got hurt, and all year we just been kind of having an issue with the quarterback, like who's going to play. Jimmy G's like halfway there. Is he there or not? Like it's a lot going on with the quarterback situation. Once we get that ironed out, I think we'll be fine because the defense is still really good. Also, Brandon Ayuk is kind of like, I don't know what's going on with that right now. The end of last year, like he was going to be the wide receiver 1, and he's barely even getting on the field now. So to me, those are the two biggest reasons. You have Brandon Ayuk that's like out. We have our starting running back got hurt. So there's a lot going on. We keep getting injuries. We I can't say anything about injuries to a Ravens fan, but
I mean, it is what it is,
yeah,
though.
we're kind of close. Most of our running backs are hurt, just like you guys, and then Jimmy G always stays hurt. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, you just call a team on a any given Sunday type of deal, but I think the 49ers will be all right.
I think
Okay.
the 49ers beat themselves in that game.
Yeah.
I think that's what the biggest issue was. Not taking anything away from the Seahawks, but I just don't think the Seahawks are a good team. I don't. Like, they have on offense Russell Wilson,
Ooh,
and then they have Russell Wilson, and then they have Russell Wilson.
right. That's
Like,
true.
they won't even give that guy an offensive line. All the
Right,
years
right.
he's been there. I think the organization should be punished some kind of way for that, for having such a great, and he is a great future Hall of Fame quarterback. But that's all they have on that side of the ball. And on the other side of the ball, they have Bobby Wagner, and they have what's the safety's name?
Jamal Adams.
Jamal. Yeah, that's it.
Adam's
That's all
always
they
hurt
have.
too, though. He's always hurt. He'll give you a
Yeah,
couple of games, but he's hurt. But yeah,
right. So I mean, their whole team basically is as Russell Wilson goes, that team goes. Why not protect the man? But for that reason, that's why I think they're not gonna get anywhere. They're not gonna get anywhere.
All right, we got a few minutes, guys. I want to get to these. Let's jump from the NFC to the AFC and go to the Raiders Chargers. So who runs the AFC West now, y'all? Because we're seeing something that we have not seen. I'm definitely let you go first, Major. First of all, the Chiefs. The Chiefs are on the bottom of the division. Like, that's
2-2.
amazing. And so the Raiders was running it. They got knocked off by the Chargers last night. That was a great game. So let's hit that game, that Raiders Chargers, and who runs the AFC West. Go ahead, Major.
So the AFC West, it seems like whoever has the best quarterback is the best team. And right now, Justin Herbert is the best quarterback. Yes, I know the Chiefs are the Chiefs. You got Patrick Mahomes, but I think they just kind of got fat up, at the top. When you're at the top for so long, it's just kind of like you get fat, you get lazy. They didn't really build the team. They didn't really add new pieces. Yeah, they did fix the line a little bit, but they needed a receiver. They needed, Edwards-Helaire is doing all right, but they needed a running back. They needed some defense help for sure. But the Chargers are a really good team that was just hurt for the last 2 years, especially on defense. Like, Darwin James, the best player, has been hurt the last 2 years. You had Keith Murray, the linebacker, the young stud, is out there balling. He's hurt. Eckler's always hurt. Like, so all these guys are healthy again. Mike Williams always hurt. Like, these guys are all healthy at the same time. And you have this new young coach in there that's like, got them with a little pep in their step. Like, that's a team to watch out for. I think they're going to do some real good things.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm still not gonna discount the Chiefs because they're the Chiefs. But I think the Chiefs' big headedness is what he was saying.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
I agree with because they won't do anything about that defense. So they are definitely depending on that offense to win all the games for them. And as other teams get better, especially on defense, that's not going to keep working anymore. And I think you're seeing a little bit of evidence of that this year. And that's not to say that the Chiefs are not going to come back and win the division, but I think you're seeing some evidence of the fact that they just basically putting everything on their offense. They're kind of going down the same line as the Seahawks. It seems like to me, like they just, although they did work on the offensive line, but they're still dependent on Patrick Mahomes to get the wins for them, as opposed to building an entire team like, say, the Chargers and the Raiders and all the Broncos are doing. So I can't wait to see the other divisional games. But right now, yes, Herbert is the best quarterback in that league. He was absolutely right. It's always based on who's the best quarterback at the time in that division, for that division. Right. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm just going to say right now that Chargers are running things right now. I do believe the Chiefs can and will come back. I mean, they had a great game Sunday, but against who? So like they were expected to win that game big time. Tyreek Hill just showed off. Unlike the previous teams, they were not able to shut down Tyreek Hill. When the Ravens played the Chiefs, we shut down Tyreek Hill. When the Chargers played the Chiefs, they shut down Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was running wild in that game Sunday. Like he was just doing
Wide
whatever.
open. Yeah.
He did a flip he did a flip in the not into it, but in the end zone. Like
Right.
he was all over. Like if you can't, you got to shut down Kelsey or Tyreek Hill. If you're gonna let Tyreek Hill run roughshod all over you, is not gonna look good. And that dude looked like, I mean, he was literally running everywhere. He was just having his way against that defense. So yeah, you can, excuse me, you can see that that wasn't going to come out well anyway. So yeah, I got to give it to the Chargers, man. Respect. I mean, coming into the season, we was like, you know, these Chargers are looking good. We think they're going to be good. And they are indeed looking good. I mean, and that was a fight last night, but and they tried to battle back. The Raiders tried to battle back. I'll do Darren Waller. I mean, oh my goodness. They even called him for the taunting penalty. Guys, that taunting penalty.
He's an ex-Raven. Just everyone, he's an ex-Raven, so you know Regina's gonna
Wait.
go hard for him.
No, it's
but that was
Darren
not
Waller
taunting.
is a great. He's
That-
just a great player, and we
But
wish
that was
that-
not taunting at all.
Yeah, I didn't think that was he was that whole taunting thing needs to just be thrown out the window somewhere. Like I think I'll be fussing about that every week on the podcast because it's childish. It's childish to penalize a grown man playing a brutal
celebrating.
sport. Right.
For being happy, don't be happy.
Like I said, if the dude is on the ground and you standing over him, stepping on him, stuff like that, okay, I actually have respect for that type of stuff. But if you both are upright and you just making hand signals and saying first down or pumping, you know, putting like, come on, like that whole taunting thing was ridiculous. But the thing is, he still kept on doing it, and they didn't call the rest of them. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Notice that. So even when he made subsequent plays and the touchdown, he still kept on doing it, and they didn't call it again.
They called that one because they were saying that the spike of the ball was on the sideline and the intention was directed towards the
opposite team
sideline, and that's
where he was.
That just happened to be where he was when he spiked the ball,
right?
And he wasn't even looking at the people on the sideline; he was looking onto the field. So that was a ridiculous call. That was an absolutely ridiculous call.
And I think the Raiders have bounced back from this as well. Like they're just they're a good team. Like it's not the old Raiders that we're used to. I have to give Gruden a little love. I've been hard on Gruden because I think he's overrated, overpaid, and everything else. But now that you know the team look like they're rolling, they have some good. They built through the draft too. That's most teams don't do that. So that's Matt Mayock. Like people gave him a hard time, and he's really shown that he can put some pieces together to build a good team. And Carr, you know, he has these moments where he's the guy and he kind of tapers off as well. So keep an eye on him and see if that's going to last for the rest of the season.
All right, two more. We got 2 minutes, you guys. The Jets Titans. Jets Titans. Jets, Jets. I'm just going to have to give them a shout out for winning their first game. Bobby, you can go ahead and jump on this one first, and we'll come back to you, Major.
Well, I don't think it was the Jets who played the game, and they played well, especially on defense. But the Titans are phony. It's just that simple. If they didn't have AJ or Julio,
they have AJ or JJ,
right? And if you can make that offensive line of the Titans do something different than what they're used to doing, you're going to beat them. Because that right there will shut down Derrick Henry. And their passing game is just not that great. They have a quarterback who can throw the ball, but I think the scheme is just not that great. So doesn't matter who's out there to catch the ball. If your scheme sucks, then it's not going to work.
Yeah, they need to focus on running the ball. I think they get a little too cute sometimes. They're trying to let Tannehill lead the team. Like this is Derrick Henry's team. How he goes, the team goes. So if he's not running the ball well, the team is going to lose. Like Tannehill's not good enough to like win games for you. He's good enough to like play action pass and get it to AJ Brown and Julio Jones. If he's not doing that, they're gonna have a hard time. But Zach Wilson, that guy can throw. That boy, he had a throw when he was running towards the right sideline, and then he just threw the ball back towards the left just enough so the player can get and just dropped a dime. Like it's like watching him, watching Kyler Murray, like those people who will really throw the ball, like it's art. Like Patrick Mahomes, another one, he drops dimes. So Zach he's making a name for himself. Hopefully they can get the Jets ready. You know, that we got an ex-49er coach over there, so I'm gonna do a Regina, and I might like the Jets now.
I was just happy for them winning their first game. I really was. I felt sorry for them.
They still need
And
help though.
fact-
They need some more people on offense.
They're young though. They're young.
Yeah, but they need some talent. They need somebody for Zach to be able to depend on getting the ball to, especially in a clutch moment. Like they need a really good receiver or tight end or somebody that can be that guy for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't help. I mean, the Titans defense becoming one dimensional. I mean, most any team, if you can keep the offense, if you can keep the offense one dimensional, it is going to make it a little easier for that team to beat you. So yeah. That was. I'm not mad at the fact that the Titans went down on that. Sorry, Kevin Jeffries. So the last one, so we can get out of here because we're a couple minutes over. That Patriots-Buccaneers game that we have been looking forward to. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. Since we saw it was on the schedule, Brady was coming back home. I was wondering if they were going to cheer him or boo him because he was coming back. And that game, did that game go the way that you guys thought it was going to go in terms of the scoring, in terms of the defense? Because it was some major defense being played in that game. Major, you can go ahead and start this one.
Yeah, I absolutely was shocked. I thought that Brady was going to come home and put up like 500 yards, like 10 touchdowns. I thought it was going to be one of those games, but I got to give it to him. Like Belichick, he knows how to coach against his ex-players. Any player if you ever play for Belichick and you have to play against him again, you will have a hard day. He just took all the weapons away, and it seems like, the rain helped a little bit, I guess, because they didn't throw the ball as much because of the rain. But and I was impressed with Mac Jones. Like, I'm not a big Mac Jones fan at all, but he won me over a little bit with that game because he showed the poise, he showed that grit that you need to be a New England quarterback. He pretty much looked like Tom Brady did when he was a rookie. So I don't know. I think it was good. It was good for the Patriots to get that like confidence and get that momentum. Like, oh, we came toe to toe with the champions, and then it was good for the Bucs to wake up and be like, yo, we're the champions, but like we need to figure this out because we're like not playing hard enough. So I thought it was a good game. It was boring, but it was a lot of good little things going on in between the lines.
It was boring because it wasn't high scoring.
Absolutely.
What you think, Bobby?
Well, I thought that the Bucs looked like I thought they were going to look, and I thought the Patriots looked really good. The Bucs fall in that same category for me with the Rams. They're one of the phony teams, and I thought that Brady. Well, I knew Belichick was going to throw some stuff at Brady that was going to make him, have to think about some things before he does it. And at the age that he's at now, stuff is falling off. I mean, he's still a good quarterback. He's probably the GOAT, but he's not going to be the same anymore. And Brady and Belichick showed that you can do some stuff that'll throw him off. And Brady definitely did not win that game for them.
Right.
And I thought the Patriots kind of beat themselves. Like they made a couple of major mistakes that cost them the game. They in my mind should have won that game. And I didn't even pick them on my base because I thought the same way Major did. I thought Brady was going to come in there and show off, and I just don't think he has it in him anymore. I just don't. Or he was pretty emotional that day too, so that could have been
That's a big part. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, the Patriots definitely should have won that game for sure.
Yeah, I think Belichick did what Belichick does. He schemed a good game against Tom. He knows Tom, and they've been studying that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His team been studying that team probably last season. They probably knew they were going to be playing. So we know that Belichick knows how to scheme against your team, take away whoever your best player is, all of that good stuff. So I think he just schemed very well. I think that the Patriots kind of put the NFL on notice because people were like, oh, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. And I was in the offseason, I was like, what are y'all talking about? It's Belichick. He knows how to take these no-name people, plug them into a system, and do what it do. But, they started off looking, not so hot. But I think that in my opinion, they outplayed. They didn't win the game, but in my opinion, they outplayed the Buccaneers with the weapons that they had on that team and their defense. Like they won on special teams. They won that game on a special because the Patriots could not kick that ball in the rain. Like that rain was really coming down. And just faced it. He's not Justin Tucker. There's only one Justin Tucker in the NFL, and thank God we got
to
him.
bring it back around.
Here's the one thing I'm about to bring it back around to. Here's the one thing that I noticed about that game that I was kind of impressed by. And if you don't believe me, Major or Regina, go back and look at some tape from back in the day. He played that same exact defense that the Rex Ryan's Ravens defense used to play against Brady, where you just did not know what was coming. You didn't know if they were going to blitz, if they were going to drop, if they were going to be in zone, if they were going to be in man, if they were going to do part zone, part man, if they was going to be in cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. Like that's the kind of defense he was playing. Rex Ryan used to do that same exact thing with the Ravens defense and some years ago. So that's exactly what he did. And he probably looked up film and saw how you would have to be probably a Ravens fan to know this, but the Ravens defense used to confuse Brady even back in his prime. We often lost the games, but that was mostly because of our offense not being able to accomplish anything. But our defense used to give him the blues back in the day, like the blues back in the day. He even admitted it himself. So that's the defense that it looked like Belichick was playing to me. So and it worked. Still.
No, go ahead, Major.
I was agree with him. Like that's absolutely right.
So yeah, so it was a good game. The fact that it's not a high scoring game is not boring to me. I love defense. I love defenses shutting down offenses. And so I felt like I felt like the Patriots really showed us something. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do going forward. I thought that Mac looked a little shaky out there at times. I don't always like his footwork. Like his footwork to me would look a little like just like I'm scared and I'm just shuffling my feet. Which way am I throwing the ball? I saw that a few times and that's kind of worrisome, but I think overall I think like you said, Bobby, he gained a lot of confidence. I think that and them being able to go against Tampa Bay as well as they did and wind up winning just because they just missed a field goal. I think that the Patriots might be on their way now. They might have put some stuff together and we're probably going to see some things from them going forward.
Well, we will because they play the Texans next week. So
the thing is, they're probably a year away though, but they'll be like in a playoff hunt. But I think they're a year away from being that playoff contender that we're used to.
I don't know. I can't count out Belichick. I just can't. And we didn't get to the Steelers-Packers. Come on, everybody got like 30 seconds. The Steelers-Packers game, like, are the Steelers in trouble? Should their fans be worried? Should Roethlisberger be sitting on the bench? What's going on with Najee? Like, they're in one of those relationship statuses. It's complicated. The Steelers is complicated right now. Like, what's going on, Bobby? I think you start this one.
I'm just going to simply say, you said it all of the above.
Exactly.
All of the above.
And you, Major?
You killed it. That was it. Like it's Big Ben. That team is stacked. They just need that quarterback position. And to me, he looks like a punch drunk boxer that's still fighting. And it's like hang him up because it's like it's sad. It's really sad.
Do y'all think he's going to be benched this game coming up against the Broncos?
No,
I don't know if you could bench a Hall of Famer. That's the only thing. I think
right?
that's just messing up their team. Like you
No.
can't bench a Hall of Famer.
Right, but Tomlin, he already put out he's hurt. I saw it today. Even Tomlin is saying that Ben Roethlisberger is hurt. So are we going to use that? He's hurt. So we're not really benching him. He's hurt. So that's why we got to play one of the other QBs.
If you're gonna do it, that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, that kind of
that
oh,
would
go
be
ahead,
the
Bobby.
way to save face. But they also have to face that Broncos defense this week, so we'll see what happens. Do you want to throw Haskins out in front of that? I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah, I'm thinking Big Ben might be a little terrified of that. He's not mobile, so I can't see any non-mobile QB. I can't see being that successful against this Broncos defense right now. Like honestly, so he just, I mean, when he runs, he falls down. So I'm just not seeing how that's going to work with them. But okay, guys, we're a few minutes over, but thank you. I am just super excited about all of this great football we're getting. Like I'm still not over it. Like every week, I'm just always like, oh my gosh, these games have been so good. It's been so much to talk about. You can't get it all out. But do you guys have any last thoughts? And along with your last thoughts, let everybody know where they can find you. I just want to say thank you for being here. And it was really, really good talking to you guys. So let's go ahead and start with Bobby. Give your last thoughts. Tell them where they can find you. Same thing with you, Major. Then I'll do mine and we'll be out of here.
All right, I'm Bobby. You can find me on Twitter at MPF Football Show. And you can watch my podcast on the No Pro Football Show on YouTube. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment and ask any question you want. My last thought is Ravens-Cowboys Super Bowl.
Don't break your neck, Major. Don't break your neck.
I don't know if I want to go after that crap. Yeah, so you can find me at Way Too Major FF on Twitter. You can find me on Clubhouse daily, talking sports, talking life, talking everything else. You can find me on Dynasty Vipers tonight. I think I don't even know what time the show is. It's 10 p.m. maybe Eastern time. I don't know. Just log in to Dynasty Vipers.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, Dynasty Vipers, you'll find it. Just go to Dynasty Vipers, you'll find me, and then check us out on Fantasy Pros on Extra Point on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, Regina, I love you. Thank you for having me on. I apologize for the technical difficulties.
That's okay.
I will be back to make up for that, and then I gotta have you on my show once I get going.
For sure. It's mutual. Absolutely, the love is mutual. I am Gina of She Talks Football. You can definitely find my podcast on YouTube at the She Talks Football YouTube channel. And definitely look for me on The Undroppables. The Undroppables, guys. The Undroppables platform. Great group of people, great content. So you should be following at The Undroppables on Twitter and The Undroppables on YouTube. And also you can find the audio versions of my podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on Spotify, on Anchor, and many other places. So I'll be looking forward to you liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that good stuff. So have a couple of more days, and we're going to be starting it all over again. Thursday night, we're going to be starting it all over again. So everyone stay safe and well. Have a good week, and we'll see you guys next week. See you later, Bobby and Major. Bye, everyone.